What's your Everest? A couple weeks later, I go back into the same climbing leader's tent, more cracked ribs. I'm certain he's going to give me a break. I'm certain he's going to say, hey, you got cracked ribs. You've been doing a great job. Take a break. So I crawl back in the tent. I say, these ribs are worse than before, but working at this for 2 weeks, I can't do it. He says to me, Jamie, how many days is the weather good on Mount Everest? And I'm thinking, dude, we're not here to talk about, the weather. I'm here to talk about my ribs. He says, no, that's not my question. How many days on Mount Everest is the weather good? On any given 10 days, how many days? I don't know. It depends. I don't know, maybe 3, 4, 5 days. I don't know. What? Not many. That's right, not many. How many days is it going to take us to go from base camp to the summit of this mountain when we make a summit push? He asked me. I'm thinking, what is this, a trick question? I'm here to talk about my ribs. Answer the question, son. I don't know, 5, 6 days for a summit, or 8, depends, that's right. So we get 3, 4 good days of weather, 5, 6, 7, 8 days to go to the summit. You want to be in base camp waiting for the good weather before you go to the summit? I'm like, oh, yeah. Wouldn't that be great? He's like, oh, yeah, that would be great. And I'm thinking, oh, could you imagine, a tailwind and nothing but blue sky and firm snow beneath our feet as we're climbing? Wouldn't that be great? He's like, oh, yeah, that would be great, son. You break camp with that good weather and you climb up the mountain, and just as you were getting to the top camp, just as you were thinking about going for the summit, a big old storm would blow in, your expedition would be shut down. I'm like, yeah, that's probably true. So, son, you need to learn to climb this mountain when the weather doesn't cooperate. When the snow is high and up to your waist, when the wind is blowing it so hard into your face, little beads of blood form on your cheeks. When you're surrounded by clouds and avalanches, when you need to depend upon your skill and your knowledge and your training to find safe ground, when you're willing to fight hard through those difficult conditions to gain only a few thousand feet in elevation. That's when you climb the mountain, Jamie. Because when the weather breaks, you want to be sitting in base camp? No. You want to be in Camp 4. When the sky is clear, the winds are calm, there's hard, easy traveling snow beneath your feet. That's when you want to go for the summit. That's when you want to be in Camp 4. And you don't get there unless you're willing to climb through all this miserable weather. So you grab that load and you carry it up there and stop making excuses about broken ribs. Whew. Wow. It was a shocker to me. But it reminded me of those stories I'd read in those books as a young boy that inspired me to climb Everest in the first place. It reminded me of how I respected so greatly those climbers who had gone to the mountain and seemed to come home changed. And they were changed because they forged character. And I admired those climbers and somehow knew, even then, although I didn't understand it, that that's what I wanted for me. And now here in this moment, in the tent, when I was complaining of cracked ribs, I had this chance, this opportunity to forge character anew, to look inward and find strength that I didn't think existed. Crawled out of his tent, put some more duct tape on, grabbed the load, and carried it up the mountain. And the summit wasn't within reach. It wasn't even nearby. Yet this journey, this experience, was having a huge impact on me. It had its value. And sometimes we want it to go easy and simple, only to understand that when it's hard and difficult, that's the real value. And not to give up. Grab some duct tape, wrap around your chest, and keep climbing.